The wind hit my face like a slap, sharp and cold. And I smiled. There's something about that bite that reminds you you're alive. The man I'm becoming isn't soft, and he isn't polite. He doesn't apologize for his drive or for the scars that line his hands, his arms, his soul. Every mark is proof he fought, proof he refused to bow. Life has a way of testing men like that. It strips everything away, leaves you raw, and waits to see if you can stand. I've spent years looking in the mirror, not for vanity, but for truth. I've stared at the lines etched into my face and asked myself the hard questions. Who am I when no one is watching? What do I fight for when comfort whispers in my ear? How do I rise after the world has knocked me down again and again? The answers aren't clean. They aren't easy, but they are real. They are mine. The man I'm becoming doesn't run from pain. He welcomes it. He knows pain isn't an enemy. It's a teacher. Every strike, every bruise, every sleepless night, every failure, they carve strength into the marrow of his bones. I've learned that fear isn't something to avoid. It's the refusal to let it dictate the man you are. I've walked through fire and come out scorched, and yet stronger. I've carried burdens that bent others in half and learned how to lift them anyway. I've faced loss, betrayal, the kind of nights where silence is heavier than stone. And through it all, I've built something no one can steal. A spine forged in steel. A mind sharpened on life's grind. And a heart that refuses to settle for anything less than honor. There's a solitude in becoming this man. People will see your scars and judge them. They'll see your determination and call it obsession. They'll see your silence and think you're weak. Let them. The man I'm becoming doesn't need validation. He doesn't bend to expectation. He doesn't explain himself to those who wouldn't understand the weight of his choices or the depth of his fight. I remember a night when the world felt like it was closing in, when every step forward felt like walking through mud. I stood on a ridge, watching the city lights flicker far below. I could have turned back, given in, let the darkness swallow me. But I didn't. I clenched my fists, felt every ache, every pang, every memory of struggle. And I told myself, keep moving. The man I'm becoming doesn't quit when it's hard. He doesn't flinch when it hurts. He moves forward because the fight is worth it, because growth is worth it, because he knows that on the other side of struggle is a man who won't break. I've learned to trust myself, not blindly, not arrogantly, but with the kind of faith that comes from surviving the impossible. Every decision, every risk, every night spent wrestling with doubted all a step along the path of who I am becoming. And that path isn't easy. It's jagged, steep, and unforgiving. but it's mine. I carry it like a badge. I walk it like a warrior. I own every inch of it. The man I'm becoming is relentless. He is patient, but never passive. He knows the value of discipline, the strength in endurance, and the power of silent resolve. He does not demand respect. He earns it in the grind, in the choices that shape his character, in the way he stands when everything around him is falling apart. He carries his past, his mistakes, his scars, not as burdens, but as weapons, as proof that he learned, that he adapted, that he overcame, and he is still growing. Every sunrise is a challenge. Every failure is a lesson. Every voice that doubts, every door that closes, every shadow that threatens to swallow him, he faces it all, square in the eye. Because the man I am becoming understands something simple and brutal. Comfort is the enemy of greatness, and a life untested is a life wasted. I've felt fear in its purest form. I felt pain that numbs. I faced nights so dark I couldn't see my own hands. But through all of it, I've learned to stand taller. I've learned to breathe deeper. I've learned to fight smarter. The man I'm becoming doesn't crumble under pressure. He doesn't fold. He rises again and again until the very ground trembles beneath his resolve. When I look ahead, I don't see the world bowing to me. I see the path I have to carve, the battles I have to fight, the man I have to become every single day. And I will. I will push harder. I will endure longer. I will rise higher than I have before. The man I'm becoming isn't born from easies forged from fire, sweat, pain, and unyielding will. And one day, when I look back on the life I've lived, I'll see it all. Every scar, every sleepless night, every victory and failure. I'll see the proof that the man I became was built, not given. And I'll know with every fiber of my being that I did not simply survive. I thrived, I conquered, I grew. The man I'm becoming is not yet finished. He is still in the forge. But the fire is steady. The hammer is strong, and the work is relentless. And that's exactly the way I want it.